This video, we're going to look at public policy. Government is the institutions and the people that create the public policy. So we have three branches of government, the legislative, the executive, and judicial branch. The legislative branch is responsible for making the public policy. The executive branch is responsible for enforcing and carrying out these public policies. And then the judicial branch gets to evaluate the public policies and determine if people are breaking public policies and what the punishment is, or even if these public policies are allowed to exist if they are a violation of the Constitution. And so at the legislative level and the executive, well, actually all three levels, politics is that process of making public policy. So government is the institution, the people. Politics is the process, the discussion, the debate, the compromise between the political parties, between the different members of the branches of government, between the bureaucracy and people who are invested in this. So politics is the process, and then the end product, I guess, is the policy. And so there are different types of public policies: education policy, immigration policy, environmental policy, and energy policy kind of go hand in hand these days. And then we have defense policy. So when we look at education, there are education policies. We have policies here at MSD of Wabash County that apply to everyone who goes to school here. We have public policies for our local community, that if you live in this local community, there are certain policies that apply to everyone. There are certain public policies that exist if you want to live in the state of Indiana, and then there are specific policies that exist if you live in the United States. And so education policy, again, is one of those things. You have local policies, you have state policies, and you have national policies that apply to everyone. Immigration, how you come to live here in the United States. There are laws that if you want to live in the United States that you have to follow in terms of becoming a citizen or living here in the United States if you want to immigrate and move here. So environmental and energy, I think, go hand in hand. What our policies are on energy, and all of these, I should probably say, that's why we have elections. We have elections to determine who gets to make these particular policies. So energy and the environment, one political party emphasizes more on the protection of the environment and using alternative sources of energy, getting away from fossil fuels. And the other political party is more open to using wind and solar, but also using fossil fuels. So elections matter. Whatever it is that you are passionate about, you need to find a candidate who will try and push forth the policies that are important to you. We have national defense policies, military policies. Are we going to get more involved in the world? Are we going to send our military to other countries? We're going to focus more on, taking care of what's going on here in the United States and being more of an isolationist, I guess. So again, I'm going to emphasize we have elections that kind of direct our government, these institutions, the people that we elect, in the direction that we want to see these policies go. So they're just rules and laws that apply to everyone. In terms of the type of government, I just want to throw this out real quick because I know a lot of people get frustrated with the public policy making process. People will complain that government works too slow, that they'd like to see things happen faster. In a democracy or republic like we have, we allow everyone to participate in terms of we elect people to represent our interests. And, you know, there are 350 million people who live in the United States, and everyone would like, you know, their voice to be heard, and for policies to reflect what they want. So the process is very slow, and it's very slow on purpose. And the reason that it is slow is to make sure that individuals' rights and individual liberties are protected. If we had a dictator and one person who was able to make decisions very quick and very efficient without having to ask anybody else what they want, I think people would find that they are not necessarily concerned with the interests of everyone. And so we need to be very, very careful that, yes, you know, it can be frustrating. The process can be very slow. It would seem like sometimes nothing ever gets done. But the reason that the founding fathers did this was to make sure that everyone's individual rights and liberties are protected, and that we are not making public policies that really are geared to one person's interests, but to hopefully the vast majority that live here in the United States.